What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. All right, let's move on to Clippers-Mavs. So the Clippers go out to a huge lead early, right? They go up by 31. Then the Mavs come all the way back. They get a big-time game from Kyrie Irving. He has 40 in this game. Hit just a completely ridiculous hanging layup versus a triple team at the rim that gave the Mavs the lead there late in the game. But then Paul George just hits this ridiculous, impossible step back three towards his right in the right corner over Derrick Jones Jr. You know, I talked about this after last game. Paul George hunts those shots too frequently. And that is not good because I think it's part of what leads him to have some more volatile shooting results. Because like sometimes he hunts tough shots and he starts making them and then he just becomes impossible to guard, kind of like today, right? Then he'll have days where he chases those shots from the opening tip, misses 3 or 4 of them in a row, and then he goes 3 for 11 with, you know, like 7 points or something like that. And so that's the kind of thing that can be a little volatile with Paul George. But there's no doubt that he has the ability to make those shots. And boy, did he make a big one. I was literally thinking, like, considering Kyrie's layup that gave the Mavs the lead, that's one of the biggest shots in Paul George's career. Flipped the dynamic of the game, put the Clippers in front. When you factor in the amount of pressure that's on the Clippers, when you factor in the fact that if he doesn't make that shot and the Mavs go down and score, chances are you're going down 3-1 in the series. Just a massive shot from Paul George. And then down the stretch of the game, it was James Harden attacking Luka Doncic in switches and cleanly beating him off the dribble and then hitting floaters and scoop shots before he gets to the rim because of some backline issues the Mavs were having. Both Maxi Kleber and PJ Washington, because they're concerned about Zubac on the offensive glass, were not stepping out to contest the floater, and James was making the floaters. And like, because Terrence Mann was on the floor and he was typically in the weak side corner, and I'll show you guys some examples in film, you almost need PJ or Maxi to step up to contest the floater and have the other one of those guys just dive down and try to box Zubac out underneath a basket and give yourself a better chance to at least make James pass. And again, I know Terrence Mann can shoot. He was 3 for 6 from 3 in this game. But a floater for James Harden, especially when he's in rhythm, is a much higher percentage shot on a points per possession basis than a catch and shoot 3 for Terrence Mann. And so I thought that was something that Dallas can clean up going into game 5. Like when James Harden is attacking, they just need to do a better job of taking away those floaters. And so he scored on I think he scored 3 or 4 straight times down the stretch of the game. And then they got a couple of key stops. Terrence Mann finally got a stop on Kyrie Irving, a nice rim contest from Zubac as well that kind of forced him to miss a right-handed scoop shot. And then PJ Washington missed a corner 3, you know, one of the shots that the Clippers have been trying to get him to take. And then the game was over. And so big time clutch win from the Clippers. I'm going to show you guys some film here in a second that kind of breaks down how I think the Mavs can guard better when they get to game 5 or to guard that James Harden action better. The ugly stretches for the Mavs. This is the second time in the series where they've come out at the beginning of the game and just gotten completely blitzed. And again, like championship teams, they typically don't have those types of long lapses because you're eventually going to run into a really good team that can just cause a major problem for you in those sorts of situations. I mean, hell, the Clippers have caused major problems for Dallas, and they haven't been able to recover. They didn't recover at all in game 1. They recovered in game 4, but not to the extent that they were able to win the game. And so that to me is a concern. Luka's got to be better at the dirty work. Like this has been the swing of the series, right? The Clippers attacked him like crazy in game 1. He got cooked. It was a problem. The Clippers attacked him like crazy in game 2. He defended extremely well, and they got the stops, and it ended up swinging the series back towards Dallas. Game 4, they go to attack him again, and he's not doing his job. He also missed a key box out at the end of the game on James Harden. The Luka dirty work stuff is swinging the series back and forth. Now, again, I know I said this about the Sixers series. I know Mavs fans are going to be telling you Luka Doncic is hurt. His knee is hurt. That's why he's not doing as good in these situations. And I'm going to say exactly what I said after the Knicks-Sixers game. Everyone is hurt. Zion is out. Jamal Murray is calf strain, questionable for game 5. Jared Vanderbilt's out. Gabe Vincent just back from injury, looks like kind of out of rhythm. Karl Towns, just back from injury, looks a little bit out of rhythm. Kawhi Leonard didn't play today. Dame and Giannis are both hurt. Donovan Mitchell looks like he's banged up. Everyone's hurt. The playoffs are a war of attrition. And so you're not going to get anything for Luka being a little banged up. He has to find a way to play through it, and he has to find a way to be better in some of those dirty work areas of the game. And credit to Clippers. They're defending him really well. Terrence Mann and Russell Westbrook are doing an amazing job on him. And then on the defensive end, you just have to find a way to protect him. Again, like, I get it. He can slide his feet and defend. He showed it in game 2. But in the aggregate, he's been getting cooked. And so a couple things. Pre-switching, I'll show you guys an example on film where the Mavs did this to avoid Luka and his switch. That's one thing they can do. And then 2, hedging. Put him on a non-movement shooter, someone like Terrence Mann, and just have him hedge and recover. It's an easy way to prevent a switch, which we really haven't seen that yet in this series. So again, protect him on the defensive end of the floor. And then I know he's hurt, and I know that's causing some issues for him on the offensive end. It was another rough offensive game from Luka Doncic today, but he just has to find a way to play through that and get going. I'm still sticking with my Mavs in 6 pick. I think they're going to go home or go to Los Angeles and win game 5 and close them out in 6. But as I said after game 3, the half-court battle after game 3 was dead even. The Clippers and the Mavs were dead even in points per 100 plays in the half court. The main difference in the series through 3 games was turnovers. The Clippers were just having way too many turnovers, and the Mavs were getting out in transition and getting easy shots on them. The Clippers won the turnover battle today, and they won the game. And so that's a huge factor moving forward in this series. Couple of quick shout outs before we get to the film. Paul George, obviously big bounce back game after a rough one in game 3. Hit I thought the biggest shot of the game too, that step back corner 3 over Derrick Jones Jr. And then James Harden. James Harden's been really good in this series. And again, this is a guy who has a reputation of being a playoff underperformer. And he's been the most consistently good Clipper in this series. And he took over the game down the stretch after Paul George gave him that initial cushion. So shout out to James Harden. He's been unbelievable. They are tied in this series because of him. And if it wasn't for him, they would be in a substantially worse position. All right, let's quick look at some film on the James Harden late game attacks, and then we'll get out of here for the day. So this is the first one. James Harden's attacking Luka, and a really nice kind of like counter move after Luka does cut him off the first time. So makes a move to the right. And then he hits a lot of that. Like you're going to see this in the next 2, where he makes a hard dribble move to the right and then kind of uses a hesitation move to get an advantage. But he does like a nice kind of gather across the lane, little floater in traffic there. And again, that may or may not be a travel, but it wasn't as clean as Luke is making it sound. Then this one over here on the left side of the floor, there was if you notice, Kleba's on Zubac, and this is where this gets tricky. Norman Powell is an outstanding corner 3-point shooter, so Kyrie really can't help. And if you watch as James Harden drives, beats Luka cleanly off the dribble here, and Luka needs to do a better job not being so open. When he's this open, it just makes it so much easier for him to drive past. But look, Kleba does not want to get beat by Zubac, and so he is hesitant to really step up here. He needs to step up here, though, because if he does, PJ can box out Zubac, and then Harden can make this kick out pass to Terrence Mann. You can throw a short closeout at him after the fact, and if he makes that shot, you tip the cap. But I'd much rather have Terrence Mann shoot a catch-and-shoot 3 here than this easy layup off the glass, because Kleba's hesitant to leave the rim and leave Zubac unattended. Now, the next one. This is where we get the pre-switch, right? So Harden's just scored on Luka 2 times in a row. So now we're going to get the pre-switch. Harden's on Terrence Mann. The ball gets swung up to Harden. You're going to see Harden's going to call for Luka to come set the screen, right? So now Luka's on Terrence Mann, right? But watch this pre-switch. See, so Luka's pointing, and the reason why he's pointing there is as Terrence Mann comes up to set the screen. This is a pre-switch, right? So Terrence Mann's man is Luka. But instead of sending Luka up to defend the screen, they just have Kleba go up instead. So essentially that pre-switch makes it so that now Harden's not attacking Luka in the switch, he's attacking Kleba. But as it turns out, he's able to beat Kleba as well. And this is where that right-handed hesitation move comes in. So watch. Hard dribble move to the right here. hesitate, and then he turns the corner. That little hesitation is what allowed him to turn the corner. Once again, what I'd like to see here is PJ Washington. Hard help. Luka needs to stay home in the corner for Paul George. I want to see a hard help from PJ. Derek Jones dive in to try to keep Zubac off the glass, to make James Harden throw that skip pass over here to Terrence Mann and make him make a jump shot. Instead, PJ stays under the rim and tries to meet him with verticality, and James just goes over him just like he just went up over Kleba. This was the key stop that Terrence Mann finally got on Kyrie. As you can see, bodies him, nice late contest from Zubac, and then a big rebound from James Harden on the backside to keep Kleba off the glass. As we head down the other way, this time he's going to go after PJ Washington. So again, pre-switch, once again, see they bring up Terrence Mann to set the screen, but Luka just hangs back and basically says, whichever guy comes out of here, I'll guard, but I want PJ Washington to stay on Harden. And that's something that I think they need to keep doing when they go into Game 5. Same exact hesitation on the right-handed side here. Hard dribble move, hesitate, then go. See, the exact same move beat Luka, Kleba, and PJ Washington back to back to back. Once again, Kleba too far back. I want to see him come out hard help here to take away the floater. I want to see Derek Jones box Zubac out underneath the basket. Kyrie rotate to Paul George. And then as Harden gives up the basketball, you could rotate, but it's got to be somebody other than Harden who's just on fire at this point and ends up hitting the and one to make it 110-105. And I think that's it. All right, so you guys get the point. Like, there's some area for improvement there. But again, no matter what, you got to stop leaving Luka on an island there. The pre-switching and the hedging, I think, is a good way to get out of that. And then again, down the stretch of this series, you got to keep the ball out of James Harden and Paul George's hands as much as possible. But I'm sticking with my prediction for now. I'm going to go Mavs in 6. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys for supporting the show. We're back with the nerds tomorrow morning. Logan and Carson, we're going to break down all the first round series. I will see you guys then.